has spilled into the equity market. Last week I talked about the exhaustion gap filled in the semis. We're negating the throw over here. Divergence was intact, so looks pretty negative. I brought up that IWM peaked a week ago. I didn't think it would make a new high. I did think that early in the week that S&P's had a chance, but it's okay with me because I've been short a lot of things. Let me remind you what I've been negative on for quite some time. Okay, I've been negative NVIDIA. It's on the verge of a breakdown that should take it at least to the mid 150s. I've been talking about that number for a while. The more bearish case would be 140 because this is a 40, actually, it would be 130 on a measured move from this. SMH, just like the SOX, on the verge of negating a breakout. Looks pretty lousy to me. And look at the MAG 7. Looks like we have the makings of a breakdown in the MAG 7. I was talking about 56 for quite some time. Broadcom had some good earnings, but couldn't even get back above. They did get back above the breakdown yesterday in the aftermarket, but no follow through. And we all know what happened to Palantir. And then Uber was my favorite short last year from in the 90 to 100 level with targets initially 80 and then maybe 70 to 60. We're almost there. So we have that occurring. Something new is I do believe that Bitcoin and Ethereum are due for at least a bounce. Here's some, doesn't look great on the daily, but you look at the 4 hour, it's trying to grind something out. Here's the 30-minute. But when you compare Bitcoin's RSI structure to Ethereum, look at this. And now look at this. Much stronger, especially on the 4 hour. Okay, 4 hour on Bitcoin is a lot deeper, down at 20. So the RSI structure, I bought Ethereum this morning. We'll see if we get the bounce. I bought Bitcoin last night and thought that we were going to hold here, got stopped out on that. Oil's down $1. There's some hope that there's going to be a resolution between Iran and the U.S. Iran wants to keep it narrowly focused on their nuclear program. The U.S. is bringing up other things like the range of ballistic missiles, the support of groups designated as terrorists, and even the treatment of their own people. I don't think they're going to have a deal. The most bearish thing that could happen that would still leave it bullish would be some type of ABC, but that doesn't have to happen. We start breaking out over this 65 level. We're on our way. Keep in mind, my target is 78. I want to talk about the metals, which attempted to rally. As I said, that there could be a failing rally. I was talking about 5,100. Right here was 5,140, and it looks negative, but not as negative as silver for the people who thought that we were going to just sky back to the highs. I think they're going to have to be patient. We're going to go through weeks of consolidation. I don't think 70 is going to hold, even if we rally from here. I think we'd be looking at 60K, $60, $55, something like that down the road. We're getting a pretty nice move on the downside in yields. Look at that. So we failed from 431. I think this seals it for lower yields, which should give us the beginnings of a lower yen. So I tried it at 50 and 61.8. I think we're looking for, now I'm looking for this. See if we get to 78.6. I don't know if it'll be this week. Next week, I'll attempt it up at 78.6. Cleaning up in Aussie. You guys know I was short here. I did some covering here, and then I put out shorts again at 70.16. So we're up about 50. Equality is going to take it to about 68 and a half. So I'm going to hold for that. Dixie trying to come out of a little bull flag. It did. So we're up against another important line. Um, let's take a look at the meaning of this line. Okay, so that's a major uptrend that got cracked on the way down to making new lows. So there could be some resistance here. We get through that. I think we're going to 98.80. Um, I'm going to hold long dollar positions up to 98.80, and then I may reassess for pullback wave after that. Let's see what else I may want to cover. Oh, yeah, I want to cover what's happening in the end crosses. You'll never see a better picture, classic look at a three drive to a top in the guppy right here. Some guys in the room already took it up here at the third drive. Euro yen, uh, maybe it's going to go for a third drive. And so the end crosses could be a pretty good trade. Here's the Aussie yen. Um, it's uh, is diverging, but a little bit too much mo. The guppy looks like the best one for right now, with the pound leading to the downside. Um, what's happening in the S&Ps is pretty negative. They may try and hold it here in reverse. It's come a long way. I don't know if we could rally to new highs off of this. I think there's an awful lot of damage here. I also mentioned Google. It was to sell the rally, buy the rumor, sell the fact. I was showing it here. Look at this divergence. Their earnings, they were higher on earnings, and this is where they're opening. Huge gap. May try and fill it, attempt to fill it. I don't think they're going to be able to do so. Um, I think that's about it. Oh, yeah. Um, if you haven't yet, I would consider starting to buy the wheat now. Okay. It's had a nice little pullback here, shallow. We get through this. This is a weekly downtrend line that we couldn't pierce. We have an inside week, but this is the kind of market you buy and hope you're early and can accumulate. I don't think we're going to make new lows, but I think you should own this. Beans had a great day yesterday. Beans are also like gold. They call it protein gold, acting great. So the beans look good. They even look a little better than the wheat does right now. So wheat and beans look pretty good. Let's see what corn's doing. Not as kind of still could be vulnerable for a decline, but the wheat and beans I'd go for. I did want to show Micron, which really looks a lot like silver. We did really, it was a 10 bagger from 40, right, to 400. And this week or this day looks, the 9 day is being held. So back under this 9 day, there's some problems, and we could get a pretty good correction, maybe back down to here, 265. That's still $100. Some of these targets that we have are much lower in a lot of these different markets. So see what happens in Ethereum today. And I don't think this is going to be the final low, but I think we could at least have a rally, maybe back to 2,400, 2,600, and then we'll see. Mexican peso as well looks like it's putting in a higher low. This thing could rally back to the major breakdown, which was 18 and a half. It was up here. I think you'll see it better on the weekly. It was 1850 once it gave out. Yeah, see, that was big. So I'm looking for some type of retrace there. And I think that's it. I think that's plenty. But we are on the verge of a pretty good breakdown here. in the S&Ps. Okay, Citibank failed to make a new high. B of A, I don't know, all of a sudden the banks look a little better. But that's it. I still think that the dollar has some more upside, maybe 100. That could take the euro maybe back down towards 117-ish down here. And then we'll have more of could have a pretty good rally from here. But what a break from this line up here. And um, Wheaton in our room sold this. He was long going into it and got short going up at this level. Really, if you want to learn how to trade, there are some excellent traders in here in our room. So you could go to the link and sign up and join us. That's where I do my posting. I also post in general, and I don't revise things when I'm wrong. Um, I also represent the risk. So I did some buying in crude on Monday that worked out. Um, anyway, this is our room, our main trading room. Here's the general market right here. So this is where you can find everyone posting all day long. Okay, by the dip moment. Okay, people are getting long some Bitcoin here. Okay, look at the stuff that's going on here. Mike gave blood to the doctor and to the market. You know, we follow. I've interviewed Peter Brandt and Jack Schwager for that matter. So, you know, here's some of my posts. DSR is already on the short side of Guppy. So join us. I mean, there are some great, talented people with skills in here. So it's not just Mike and me, it's a community. And like I said in a few of my interviews, one with Maggie, the reason I got long the dollar was that um, some of the traders that learned my methodology pointed out to me on the weekly that the Dixie had put in a third drive, which was here. This was 1, this was 2, this was 3. And only on the weekly did I have divergence, but 2 weeks in a row, maybe on the verge of a 2-week reversal, needs to close over 97.45 to get a 2-week reversal. So I think a lot of people are still stuck with their bearish mindset in the dollar and the end of the reserve currency status. I still contend we're going to trade up towards here in the next several weeks or months. And we're getting a little bit of a bounce in NASDAQ here today, but I'd call that a pretty negative week unless they could really turn it. You guys know I've been looking for 22.4 in that. And in the S&Ps, I'm looking for 62, 6,300. Still plenty to go here. And that's going to be a wrap for me. Good hunting the rest of the day. Come join us in the room. And most of all, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Adios.